Greg Bedard joins us from Gillette Stadium, our set there in Foxborough from the Boston Sports Journal. How you doing, big boy?
Good. What's up, fellas?
What's up, Greg?
What'd you make of the Judon situation today?
It's a crap show. I mean, this was sort of inevitable. I mean, when you talk to some people around the league about how they're going to do this, there was a lot of, let's say, apprehension about how, number one, how the Patriots were handling their contracts, and also, number two, Gerard Mayo doing almost a complete 180 from Bill Belichick, and it comes with its pluses and it comes with its with the minuses. One person I was talking to earlier today, they said that this kind of thing was inevitable. That you give too much too soon without establishing any type of process or authority, and people are going to test the limits of all this, and sometimes they're going to go over the line. It's just striking the way, Bill dealt with these things. And I'm not saying that Gerard's wrong, and I'm not saying that Bill was right. But, we sort of dealt with this last year with Matthew Judon, but it didn't turn into a circus. Why? Because Bill probably talked to him and said, look, do this, handle your business this way. This is the way we're going to do it. Maybe don't come out to practice. If you come out, do X, Y, and Z, and all of a sudden now under Mayo, Judon's out there, he's sitting on a trash can, he's sitting on pads. Like, it's a bad look. And I think that's probably what a lot of Gerard's conversation with him was about. Like, fine, you want to do this, but at least do it like a professional. And that's where we are.
And Greg, in saying, it's inevitable, talking to someone that said it was inevitable, if Elliott Wolf and the team knew back in like March or April that they weren't going to pay Judon, shouldn't they have traded him during the draft or around that time?
Well, Jim, I don't think we're at that point. I'm not saying they're not going to trade Judon. They might have a pecking order in terms of, how they wanted to deal with things. Like, they just got Peppers was sort of the last extension of a core guy that's going to be here and almost, other than Josh Uche's one-year contract, all these guys are going to be here for multiple years, and they're part of the core and what they're building. So they got Peppers done late last week, this weekend, whatever it was. And now it's time to deal with the disgruntled veterans. And, with Drew Rosenhaus being here, who's Devon Gottschall's agent, it looks like he's next on the pecking order. And that sort of leaves Judon as the last guy. And I'm sure Judon sees that Rosenhaus is here or hears that Gottschall is getting traction on his contract. Judon's not. Now I'm the last guy. Yeah, I'm going to be pissed. And so that's sort of where they are.
So, Greg, just reading it, it appears like Mayo, and we have the video of Mayo approaching Judon sitting on the garbage pail and then Judon walking off. So it looks like Mayo told him to get lost, and then Judon came back and found Groh and Wolf and started laying into them. So sort of, I don't know, insubordinate or went against what Mayo told him to do. Is that how it looked?
Yes. To me, the Mayo conversation, like I said, it was more about the appearances. We've seen Judon just last summer sit out, hold in, even though he denied he was holding in, but he was holding in. And, he was out there, he was standing, he was in sweats, he was watching, he was participating, sort of like he was quote unquote injured. And then, the way he conducted himself today, that's just different. And I'm sure Gerard didn't appreciate it, thought it was disrespectful, and let him know. And really, look, if you're just going to lay around the practice field, get out of here. And, Judon left, thought about it some more, and said, you know what? Screw Mayo. I'm going right to the brass in the front office to see if something can get done.
What should they do?
Well, after watching pass rush one-on-ones today, which I'm sure you want to talk about in great detail, the offensive line actually dominated the defensive line.
Oh.
And all I could think about today was no Christian Barmore and no Matthew Judon. They've got nothing in pass rush outside of the scheming it up. So today was not a good start for that. Today, to me, was an advertisement for Matthew Judon to get more money. If I'm the Patriots and I don't have Barmore now on the inside, and guys like Jennings and Uche, they do a good job, and they generate a lot of their stuff on pressure. But, man, no Barmore, no Judon. The prospect of that, and Mayo said today, like, we're going to win with defense. We're going to run the ball. They don't have those two guys. Good luck to that plan.
So, to put it another way, the offensive line still kind of sucks, and by default they were good today because the defensive line, two best defensive linemen really weren't out there.
No, look, I'm not going to take anything away from it. I judged the one-on-ones, and then I total them up, and, it was impressive. I mean, Michael Wenu was a complete stud today, shutting everything down, and Ricky Layden-Robinson did a nice job. Both those guys were 3-0. But, it's not exactly household names out there with the Patriots pass rush without Barmore and without Judon. And the prospect of that should scare the team a little bit.
Greg, piggybacking off of what Jim just asked, in terms of making evaluations, how would you say Gerard Mayo is doing specifically in relation to Drake Maye? Because I don't know who he's throwing to, especially now that the pads have come on. Who's protecting him? Who he's throwing to? Is he able, Mayo, to get an accurate assessment of Drake Maye based on all the moving parts and the different players that are in there?
I think so. I mean, look, he's playing with the backup line, and they interchange receivers and tight ends, so it really doesn't matter what team you're on. They're just running in different guys to make sure that they don't get tired. As far as the evaluation of Drake Maye, I mean, it's the first day in pads. This is really sort of when things start, but based off the last 2 days, it's not really about his performance, and we thought this was going to be part of the deal when he came in here. A lot of it is operations. Yesterday they had to re-huddle twice when Drake Maye was on the field. His footwork has issues when he gets off platform. When he has to step up in the pocket, that's been an issue. He's had 2 really rough days back to back, and it's the first adversity that he's facing. So as far as evaluating him, they're so far away from that at this point. Like, he just needs to learn how to play quarterback like an NFL quarterback. And to this point, it's not happening. That's not to say that it can't get there. But, I mean, for example, just today, there was a situation where the defense was showing all-out blitz, and I do think that they came with an all-out blitz. And instead of knowing the answer to what the defense was bringing, Drake Maye just directly sprinted out to his right and threw the ball away. That's something that you saw on film at North Carolina like all the time. And so there's a lot of stuff that the negatives that you saw on film at North Carolina that are still there. So the evaluation of Drake Maye, that's a ways off.
What do you know about the Barmore situation? What do you think?
I only know what the team put out. I don't know much beyond that. I mean, these things happen. I mean, David Andrews went through something similar. Antonio Garcia here went through something. Andrews was able to come back after a year. Garcia really never came back. So I don't know what to make of it other than, it's bad luck for a very key player.
And it's possible it's career ending. It's possible it's a year off. I mean, Andrews missed a year, right?
Yeah, it's possible. You go through these, at least from what I remember about Andrews, you got to go through the blood thinners and things like that, and how long do you have to be on that? And that really determines when you can come back, because the injury risk, if you're cut, all those things come into play. Look, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know how accurate all of this is, but this is what I remember, is that, you can't participate in really anything until you're off the blood thinners.
What are your thoughts on where the line is right now? Was Wallace back at left tackle today? Okorafor at right tackle, and what does it tell you about where they're at?
Yeah, that's the way it went. Wallace, for the third straight day, was at left tackle, and that it was in pads today tells me that they like what they have seen so far. You could have read the first 4 days as them basically splitting, trying them out, and then the 5th day would be like, okay, this is what we think. As long as they arrive in the right place, I don't really care. I mean, it's not a great look that Wallace wasn't at left tackle like all of the offseason camps, and now suddenly he is the left tackle. Like, why not give him more reps there? Why not try him harder? All that stuff. It'll be interesting to see as we talk to Mayo, and then we get the coaches down the line about the thinking about this. It could be as simple as, if they were going to go a core 4 and City So on the left side, that's a very light finesse left side of the line, whereas you have a very powerful right side with Awenu and Caden Wallace in theory, and maybe they just decided to split that up and give a little bit more balance to the line. But, I thought the line overall did a nice job today. I thought, Caden looked good. He certainly didn't look, his one-on-ones were, he was 2 1-on-1 in one-on-one reps, which is pretty good. And he certainly didn't look out of his depth at left tackle.
Okay. We'll let you go, big boy. Gave it an offensive line question there just to satisfy you.
There you go. I appreciate that.
Is there anything else we missed? Anything else we need to know?
No. I don't think so. I think that about covers it.
Okay.
I will say the offense was better today. Outside of Drake Maye, I thought the offense, this was a good day for them.
It's a beautiful car. It doesn't have an engine.
That's a great line.
I know, but let's just, you guys hate Jacoby Brissett.
I don't hate Jacoby Brissett. I love the truth is what
Murray does.
So you just give me the truth, and we'll do with it what you want.
You'll contort it and twist it and things like that.
On.
But yes, I will continue to give you the truth.
The offense was better today, except for Drake Maye.
Correct.
It's so depressing.
That's all we need. Thanks, Greg. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Greg.
All right, see you guys.
Okay, see you.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.